In this class, we're going to talk about motion. We're going to look at what is meant by motion, types of motion, uniformly accelerated motion. We're going to look at motion of an object under gravity, and also we're going to look at Newton's laws of motion as well as some work example under this concept. Okay, the big question is what is meant by motion? When you hear the word motion, what comes to your mind? Just put it down. Motion refers to the change in the position of an object with respect to time. Let's say, as I'm standing here like this is my initial position. Are you getting it? Now, when I move from this point to this point, you can see that there is change in position. Now, there is an important concept that is factor, and that is time. You understand? So, no matter how large or small the distance that an object covered, time is always factored. Are you getting it? That is why we say motion refers to the change in the position of an object with respect to time. Are you getting it? Okay, now, having understand what is meant by motion, let's look at the various types of motion that we have. The first type that we're going to talk about is translational motion. Translational motion. Types. Number one, translational motion. Now, pay attention. This kind of motion is also known as linear motion. When you have an object traveling on a straight line, are you getting it? An object which the line of motion is straight, that object is said to have undergone translational motion. Do you understand it now? So anytime you have a motion, the motion of an object, maybe like this, you can see that the motion is straight. Are you getting it? Or like this, or like this, or like this. That object is said to have undergoes translational motion. Do you understand? A typical example is the motion of a car on the road. Are you getting it? That is a typical example of translational motion. Now, another example is the falling of mango from the tree. Let's say we have a tree like this. Are you getting it? And we have the branches, and now we have one mango here. Now, if this mango fell, you will discover that the motion of the mango is straight. Are you getting it? Even though it is vertical, it is straight. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? This kind of motion is called translational motion. Any object which lines of motion is straight line, is said to have undergo translational motion. Please do not forget. Okay. Another type is oscillatory motion. Oscillatory motion. Okay. Now, when you have an object moving back and forth, are you getting it? At a fixed point, that type of motion is oscillatory motion. Are you getting it? I'm going to give you an example. If you take a string, are you getting it? And if you pull the string, you will discover that the string is going to vibrate. Are you getting it? That kind of motion is called oscillatory. When the motion of an object is to and fro, back and forth, we can say it is oscillatory. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Okay. And the typical example is the motion of a pulled string. Okay. The third types of motion that we're going to talk about is rotational motion. Rotational motion. When you have the motion of an object, are you getting it? Vibrating. That kind is oscillatory. Now, rotational motion is a kind of motion. Another name is called circular motion. When you have an object moving around a fixed point, you understand? An object which the motion of it is circular, that kind of motion is rotational. In fact, from the word rotate, what does it mean for an object to rotate? That is, the object moves in circular motion. Are you getting it? That kind of motion is a rotational motion. A typical example is the motion of a fan. You understand? The motion of a fan. The motion of a fan. You can see that this fan, the fixed point is this. Are you getting it? But the direction of the motion is this. The direction of the motion is this. This kind of motion is a rotational motion. Are you getting it? And also, if you check the motion of the tire of a motorcycle, you understand? You will discover that the motion around the fixed point, you discover something like this. Or let us use bicycle. That kind of motion is a rotational. You understand? Because all these one move like this. They move around like this. All this wheel, you understand? These are wheels. You understand? they move in this direction. That kind of motion is a rotational motion. Do you understand? Okay. Now, the fourth types of motion that we're going to talk about is random motion. Random motion. Random motion. Okay. Okay. Now, this type of motion is a motion that doesn't follows a regular pattern. You understand? When you have an object moving in a random motion, the motion of that object or body doesn't follow a regular pattern. A typical example is the motion of a bee. You understand? A bee, the motion of a bee is random motion. You understand? Because it doesn't follow a regular pattern. Another example is the motion of a gas. You understand? Gas doesn't follow a random it doesn't follow a regular pattern because it's spread. Are you getting it? It spreads to all directions. So we can say that those tools, are you getting it? Just note it. The motion of a bee, motion of bee, and also gas motion, all the motion is not regular. Are you getting it? The motion is scattered. So that kind of motion is called random motion. Now, let us talk about the properties of motion. And the first properties that we're going to talk about here is distance. Are you getting it? Distance, properties of motion. You can call it characteristic. Now, distance. The first properties here is distance. Distance refers to the total length traveled by a body. Are you getting it? Now look at this. Please pay attention. Please. Let's say we have a boy. Are you getting it? Let's say we have a boy here. The boy moved from point A. Are you getting it? And it travels to point B. Okay. Let's say from point A to point B, the distance traveled by the boy is 4 meters. Are you getting it? And then the boy moved from point B to another point C. You understand? Point C. Let's say the distance that the boy covers from point B to point C is 5 meters. Are you getting it? Okay. The total distance traveled by the boy will be the sum of the distance that he traveled from point A to point B and from point B to point C. Okay. So if you're asked to calculate the total distance, you just have to sum 4 meter plus 5 meter, and that is what? 9 meter. Okay. So when we have the total length traveled by an object, that is the distance of the object. Are you getting it? Okay. The second properties is displacement. Are you getting it? Displacement. Please pay attention. Displacement is the shortest distance traveled by an object. Are you getting it? Okay, pay attention. Look here. Do you know that the distance that the boy covered from here to here is 4 meters, and from point B to point C is 5 meters? The shortest distance traveled by this boy will be the distance from point A to point C. Are you getting it? The distance from this point to this point will be the shortest distance. Are you getting it? So I'm going to represent that distance by X. Hello? Please, it's simple, okay? All you have to do is just listen as I explain, okay? I'm not expecting you to write now. Are you getting it? So just listen as I explain, okay? Now, the distance is the total length traveled by the object. Displacement tells us the shortest distance. Are you getting it? The change in the position of an object at an instant of time is called the displacement. So now, in this direction, from this point to this point, how do we get the displacement here? Don't forget, the type of triangle that this motion formed is what? Is right angle triangle, right? Okay, if you want to get the hypotenuse, in fact, because the displacement side, which is this side, is what faces the right angle. That will be what? Hypotenuse, right? And this, I'm going to call this one theta. So this will be what? Opposite, and this will be adjacent. Are you getting it? Now, we can get the hypotenuse, which is the x, the value of x, using Pythagoras theorem. You understand? Pythagoras theorem here states that the square of the hypotenuse is equals to the sum of the square of the other two sides. You understand? Okay. Now, hypotenuse square is x. X squared is equals to the opposite squared. The opposite is 5 meters. So I'm going to have 5 squared plus adjacent squared. The adjacent is what? 4 meters. So I'm going to have plus 4 squared. Okay. X squared is equals to 25 plus 16. You can see that it's simple. Okay. Now, x squared is equals to 25 plus 16 will give you 41. You understand? 41 here. So to get the value of x, what are you going to do? You just have to square both sides, right? So I'm going to have square root of this and square root of this. X will be equals to, okay, take the square root of 41. Well, let us leave it in short form. Hello? Let us leave the answer in short form. So I'm going to have square root of 41 meter. That is the value of x. Now, the shortest distance traveled by the object is root of 41. Okay? So that is the relationship that exists between distance and displacement. Are you getting it? Another important properties that we are going to talk about is the time. You understand? The time. Number 3, time. You will see we are still going to look at more properties. You understand? In fact, when we get to scalar and vector quantity, you are going to see more of the differences that exist between distance and displacement. Okay? Now, for time, time refers to the duration of an event. You understand? The duration it takes an event to occur is what we call time. Are you getting it? Now, listen to me. The previous example that I cited, let's say this is my position before, then I change this position by walking from this point to this point. You can see that the position is changed, right? But that position does not just change, it changes with respect to time. It happens in the process of time. That time is what we are defining here. The time it takes me, the duration it takes me to change from this point, to move from this point to this point is called time. Are you getting it? So that is one of the important properties of motion. Okay. Now let's look at the next one. We can talk about more. Let's talk about velocity here. Velocity. Velocity refers to the change in displacement all over time. Are you getting it? Mathematical expression, okay? V equals to displacements all over time taken. Are you getting it? And time, the unit of time is in seconds. Please don't forget, okay? The unit of time is in seconds. Of course, we can have it in hours, we can have it in, we can have it in minutes, but the basic unit that we use in physics here is seconds. Are you getting it? And for displacement, the unit is in meter. Also, for distance, the unit is in meter. Are you getting it? This is the mathematical expression of velocity. Velocity is displacement all over time, okay? Now, this is what we are talking about. Look at this. Now, compare, please pay attention. I change position from this point to this point. You can see the speed at which I am moving, right? Now, look at this. Compare it to this one. Now, I gave you 2 instances. The first instance, I moved from this point to this point, right? And the second instance, I moved from here to here. The big question is, which of the displacements covered we have the highest velocity? Of course, it is the second. You understand? Why? Because you can see the speed at which I'm moving. When I move from here to this point, the speed is very small. Are you getting it? The velocity is very small. But when I move from this point to this point, I move very fast. That is what the velocity is talking about. Velocity will tell you the distance I covered all over the time taken to cover that distance will give you the velocity of my motion. Are you getting it? So that is it. Okay, another important concept that we are going to talk about is speed. Speed. Number 5, we have speed. You see, speed is related to velocity, but it's just that speed is distance all over time. Velocity is displacement all over time, but speed is distance all over time. And okay, let me have it here. Distance all over time. Their unit is the same, which is what? Distance is measured in meter, right? and time is measured in seconds. So their unit will be meter all over seconds, and it can be written as meter per seconds. Are you getting it? Okay. In fact, let me put the unit of this as well. This is meter all over seconds. That is meter per seconds. Okay. Now, speed is distance. Let me write it in full. Distance covered by an object all over the time taken to cover the distance. That is speed for you. The difference is that speed is a scalar quantity, you understand, because there is no specified direction. Distance, don't let me delve into that now. Just know that speed and velocity, they are not the same. Even though their unit is the same, they are not the same, okay? Now, we are going to talk more on it when we get to scalar and vector quantity, as I've already said. Okay, the sixth properties is acceleration. Acceleration. Acceleration refers to the change in the velocity of an object with respect to time. Are you getting it? Velocity refers to change in displacement of an object with respect to time. But acceleration is when we have velocity change, the velocity which an object is moving with, the change in that velocity with respect to time will give you the acceleration. So mathematically, we can have v all over the time taken. Is that not it? Yes. Velocity is what? V. T is what? Time taken. Now, you know that the unit of velocity is what? Meter per seconds, right? Meter per seconds all over. The unit of time is what? Seconds. So I'm going to have all over S. I'm just helping you to derive the SI unit of these properties, you understand? So that you can just push through that and move to the next concept. Are you getting it? Okay. So here I'm going to have meter per seconds multiplied by s raised to the power of -1, you know, law of indices. So here I'm going to have s raised to the power -1 plus -1. That will give me s raised to the power -2. That means the unit of acceleration is what? Meter per seconds squared. You can see that it's simple when you pay attention. Okay, so we're going to stop at these 6 properties. Are you getting it? So please do not forget. Don't forget this. Any body or object that undergoes motion has these properties: distance, displacement, the time is factored, velocity, speed, acceleration. Okay, now let's look at another important thing. Motion doesn't just occur. Are you getting it? We want to look at what causes motion. To understand what causes the motion of an object, what makes an object to change position, what makes an object to move, we are going to delve into the Newton's laws of motion. Are you getting it? And the first law that we are going to talk about is the law of inertia. Are you getting it? Please pay attention. According to this law, a body...
To watch the complete class, kindly click on the link in the description of this video or the comment section, okay? See you in the next class.